If you clicked on this video to see a typical iron farm, you're in the wrong place, because today we're taking it up a notch. You can have 2, 3, or even 4 iron farms right beside each other, quadrupling the iron you'd normally get. This upgraded iron farm is game breaking and you need to build it in your survival world. With that, here's everything that you'll need to build it, and if you want to download this world, you can find a link down in the description. I promise if you guys watch this whole video through, you're not going to get confused. However, if you skip steps, it does get kind of complicated, because normally with iron farms, they have to be at least 150 blocks away from each other. However, like I mentioned, with this design, you can have 2, 3, or even 4 of them side by side, which means we kind of have to bend the rules of Minecraft a little bit. However, the first thing we're going to do is build a single iron farm, and then after that we can decide how many more we want to build. So to start off, what you want to do is dig a 5x5 hole in the ground, and then after you're done with that, you want to take this hole 8 more blocks deep, so it's a total of 5x5 by 9 blocks deep. Once you're done digging out that hole, take 10 temporary blocks and place them on one side. Oh, not like that. There you go. And then turn around and place 10 temporary blocks on the other side. Then place 5 beds on top of there. Turn around and place 5 more beds on top of this side, and then break all those temporary blocks and place 10 more beds underneath those, so you have a total of 20 beds placed down. Now from there, what you want to do is place 10 blocks in the middle here, doesn't matter what type of block this is, with 1 block in the middle, 4 blocks in the corners, and then you want to grab your workstations and your torch. Now place the torch in the middle just to make sure that no mobs spawn down here and kill all your villagers. And as well, now what we need to do is take our workstations. I have fletching tables, but it doesn't matter what you use. Place them all down here, so you should now have 20 beds and 20 workstations. Then get out of here, and what we need to do is get 20 villagers down inside of this area. That's not as hard as it sounds. Just get 2 villagers near the hole inside of some boats. It's the easiest way to get them there. And then break the boats and push them down inside of that hole. Then once you're done with that, take either some bread, carrots, or potatoes. They should start to breed, and there you go, you'll now have 20 villagers down there. Now while you're doing this, make sure you don't have any nitwit villagers, the guys with the green jacket, otherwise they can't get a profession, and as well, make sure any babies you have grow up before you start to use the farm. Alright, and there you go, you should now have your 20 villagers down inside of that hole, and they all have the same profession as the workstation that you placed down. Now from here, what you want to do is count down 4 blocks, place one down right there so it's over top of their head, and then fill this in as a roof to make sure the iron golems aren't going to spawn down there with them, and then take a bucket of water and place it in any one of the 4 corners. Now while you're doing this, if any iron golems spawn, we do need to take them out just to make our life easier. If you punch them, however, they are going to get mad at you, so take a bucket of lava, place it down to kill them, and they're not going to attack you. Now as for your collection system, go to the opposite side of the water and place a hopper leading into either one of those 2 blocks. Then place down a sign right there, a sign right there, and a sign right there, as well as a bucket of lava to kill the iron golems. Now sometimes cats will spawn here just like that. That's great timing, and they can get a little annoying, so if you want to kill the cats, you can also place down a campfire right there, and then replace these 2 blocks with hoppers as well. There we go. Now what you want to do is go 1 block away and then dig down 1, 2, 3, 4, as well as 2 blocks in the direction of the iron farm, so you should be right there. Now place down a single chest or a double chest, doesn't really matter. However, the only problem is we have a block right here that items can sneak through. So what you can do is take either a piece of glass or you can just take a stair and place it upside down right there, so we can still open up the chest. But if you come over here, you can see it looks like a solid block, and that's perfect. And there you go, the iron farm's pretty much done. Now the final thing you want to do is just take a bunch of slabs and place them up here, so all of the iron golems actually want to spawn inside. Okay, so beautiful, we've got our working iron farm, but this is boring. It can only produce 2 iron golems at once. So what we're going to do now is add either 2, 3, or 4 separate iron farms right beside this one. And again, like I mentioned, this shouldn't be possible, but I'm going to show you guys exactly how it works. And really quickly, if for some reason you follow the steps and this farm doesn't work, you could download this exact world that I'm playing on here. That is down in the description. So going anywhere near this farm, doesn't really matter where you do it, we're going to want to dig another 5x5 by 9 block deep hole. This time, however, don't place any beds or workstations because that's not going to work. The villages are going to be too close to each other. For now, come down inside of the hole and then count up 3 blocks and place a row of blocks right here, And then once you're done with that, you want to place another row of temporary blocks on top of those ones. Now, once you have that, come to any one of the sides and just go a little bit away from the edge and dig down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then dig forward, and that should take you directly underneath this area. Now, eventually we're going to place beds and workstations down here, but not just yet. However, we are going to prepare for it. So place down, once again, 10 temporary blocks on one side and 10 temporary blocks on the other side. And now we can go out of this hole. So now it's time to take a village that's over 100 blocks away and essentially move it to here so we can have 2 working iron farms right next to each other. So for this, what you're going to want to do is go 100 blocks away from your iron farm and actually go just a little bit further than 100 blocks, and then make that path 2 blocks wide so the villagers don't fall off. And as well, it's not a bad idea to add some walls around this pathway just to be extra careful. Now, while you're doing this whole process, make sure you're not within 100 blocks of an actual village, otherwise it's not going to work either. So once you're done building that, you should have a long pathway that looks like this, and we now need to get 2 villagers down at this end. It's very important that the villagers you're going to put up there have not been close to your iron farm, otherwise they'll be part of that village and the whole thing is not going to work. So make sure these guys have not been within 100 blocks of your other iron farm. The easiest way to get them up there is just to kind of build a staircase up like this, put them inside of a boat and attach a lead, and then you can simply walk them up. You can build some blocks up like that to get them through, and there you go. Now we can get started with the process. So the first thing you want to do is place down 2 beds, just like that. And then you also want to place down 2 workstations in front of both of those beds. They should all be linked, and this is now a new village. And we need to take this village and move it all the way over to that iron farm. So to do this, what you want to do is break the back bed and make sure you see that he is upset. This is very important. Take this bed, place it, and don't do anything until you see the green particles. Make sure you see the green particles on these guys, otherwise the farm is going to break. Now come back here, break this bed, he should get angry, and then place this bed a little bit forward and wait until you see the green particles. Perfect. Now, once you've seen those, come back here and break this workstation. He should get angry and lose his profession, and then run forward and place the workstation a little bit ahead. And once again, wait until he has the profession. Very important. Then come back here and do the exact same thing with this one. Now you're just going to keep repeating this process all the way until we get over to that other iron farm. I just need to wait for that guy. There we go. And we're essentially just taking this village and slowly moving it all the way down to that side. So repeat this process and make sure that before you do anything, the villager is linked to not only the bed and the workstation. So now I'm good to go. I can re-break the bed, and I'm just going to continue this process until I get all the way down to the end. If the villagers are being annoying and running in the opposite direction, you can either block them off from doing that, or what you can do is kind of just push them with your body and they should get closer as well. Now, if you take this slow and you always make sure they have linked up before moving anything, I promise you're not going to have any problems. But if you try to rush it, you will have a problem and it will not work. So just take it slow, don't rush anything, and you will be okay. Okay, so I'm getting really, really close to being near the end of my path now. So I'm going to wait to get these guys all the way over, and then we can move on with how to set up the village. So what you need to do is get these as close to the edge as possible. You want them to be as far here just to make sure that they're not going to accidentally unlink and link to that one over there, because that would be a little unfortunate. So once you've gotten them super, super close, what you actually want to do is hop down inside of here. You can use a bucket of water to get down if you want. And then you want to temporarily place one of the beds down here, and those villagers should now link up with that bed. Then go ahead and get out of the hole, and you want to do the same thing for the other bed and both of the workstations. Now, some iron golems might be spawning in this hole from the other iron farm. That's okay, we can deal with those guys later. But there you go, both of the villagers should now be good, and if they haven't already walked into there on their own, just go ahead and push them in. Villagers are inside, we can deal with that guy later. What we actually need to do is take these beds and workstations and put them in the correct place now. So we're going to start off with one of the beds. Now make yourself a staircase to get in and out to make your life easier. Break one of the beds, but again, only one of the beds, and they should get angry. Get out of here. Make sure they can't get out as well, because they'll climb out. They always do that. Drop down this hole, And then you want to place one of the beds on top of these dirt blocks. And you can see I got the green particles right there. Perfect. Then do the same thing for the other bed. And also both of the workstations. But once again, make sure you do this one at a time. Never remove both the beds or both the workstations. So drop down here. And for these, you want to break some of these blocks. So break that one. Place your workstation up there. And then once you go back up, the villagers should have relinked. So perfect, there you go. As you can see, both of my villagers have the profession. Do the same thing for the other one, and we are pretty much done the process after that. And just like that, we've put a second village right beside this first village over here. So we have two villages right beside each other. Now what we want to do is remove this because we're not going to need it anymore. And as well, you can go ahead and kill this iron golem if you want. So now that we have the second villager here and we have all 20 of the workstations, beds, and villagers down there, this village is completed. We can now simply go down here and actually fill in all of these beds. So now we can just place all of these down. Be careful not to accidentally break these because otherwise it'll mess it up. Break all of those temporary blocks and place another 10 beds underneath. So we should have 20 beds down here now. And then do the same thing with the workstations up here. So I'm just going to place 20 workstations anywhere. It doesn't really matter where you place them. Okay, and I believe that should be 20. And if you want to keep it consistent with the other design, you should have no workstation in the middle, no workstation in the corners, and then everywhere else is going to be whatever your workstation is. So now go ahead, once you're done with that, fill in all of this. And then you can also fill up your path that you made to get up and down. And there you go. You now have two villagers there. You can now break this entire dirt path. And what you're going to notice is this looks the exact same as the other village we did. And now all we need to do is get 20 villagers in this hole. And once again, that's done by taking a bunch of bread, carrots, or potatoes. The villagers are going to start to breed, and then eventually you'll have 20 of them down here. And there you go, 20 villagers, all the same profession. However, still a separate village from this one over here. And now we're going to do the exact same steps. Torch, blocks over top of them, and a bucket of water in the corner. Then a hopper right there with a campfire on top if you feel like it. Sign right there, sign right there, sign right there with the bucket of lava. Then come over to whichever side you place the hopper leading into, break down over to it and place either a single or a double chest. Stair right there, staircase going up and down from that. And then once again, you want to place your slabs around this. If you want to go slower or you want to remember how to do this, just go earlier in the video where I showed you how to build that one. Oh, shoot. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. There you go, though. We have 3 separate iron golem spawns, which isn't normally possible. With one iron farm, you can only have 2. So your stacked iron farm is now working. If it's not working, if you're not getting multiple spawns in both of them, don't go commenting, Blaze, this doesn't work. Because guys, I wouldn't post a farm that doesn't work. I promise. The stackability, if that's a word, stackability of this farm does work. It exists. If something's not working, again, you could download this exact world here and try it out for yourself. You're going to find a link down in the description. And as well, if you want some more help with your farm, personalized help, or if you just want to talk to other community members, you can go down to that same link. We have a huge Discord server over there where you can get a bunch of help. With all of that though, make sure to check out one of the videos on your screen right now for even more great content. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. BlazedMC out.